Greetings, listeners. I'm your host this evening, Zach Barrett, and welcome to this Twisted Gear Studios production. You're about to listen to The Call, our Call of Cthulhu actual playcast GM'd by Derek Snow. And the previous report from our investigators. Terror had struck, stirring the team from their sleep in the town of Swill's Gullet. In retaliation, our investigators arm themselves and head to the Corbett Farmstead for more leads on Dr. Barnabas Jones's whereabouts.
You all feel comfortable with the equipment that you have managed to find. At this point, though, I will require everybody to make a hard Constitution roll.
Oh, what are you doing to me? I don't think a 98% is passing anything.
I have a question. They're both 0. Is that 0 or
That's
100?
100%.
Ah, damn it.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's like one of the only things worse than what I rolled.
Yeah.
Well, 96 to 100% is considered a critical fail.
Oh, so we both crit
Yeah.
failed. High five!
Okay, so I have a 42 out of a 70.
Yeah, so it's a hard roll, so
So
35 or less. So you're still just...
Dang it, nope.
And let's go to Althia. What did you roll?
Althia also has a fail with a 41 out of 27.
Okay, so basically, when it comes to Agatha and Althea, you're both feeling a little bit under the weather. Mainly, you've been soaked and drenched for the last over a day. And it's just sort of seeping in a little bit to your constitution. Start feeling just a little bit sick. Marion and Amos, on the other hand, are actually getting signs of a cold.
I don't think this game understands just how true to life it's being right now.
Right? So
This is either the best performance ever, or I'm actually sick. I'm actually sick.
Who can tell?
Yeah, we never
So
know.
mysterious.
I'm just really good at acting.
So basically, at the moment, there is no in-game negative mechanic that I'm going to throw at you, except when you're doing your role-playing, you're starting to get sick. You're starting to get a cold.
Perfect. I meant to fail that check.
So day is breaking, not that you could tell because there is no sun in the sky that you can see. The dark clouds are still covering the sky.
Are they starting to become at least light gray instead of black?
They're all mostly black. There's still a little bit of...
So there's no indication of daytime at all?
No.
Oh.
No.
And we don't have a working watch, do we?
No, my pocket watch stopped altogether.
Stopped and oh shit.
Everyone else is kept spinning. Yeah. So you're assuming it's daytime? I mean, just it's only been over a little bit over a day. I mean, you're assuming it's daytime. It just doesn't seem that way outdoors. Everything is muddy. Everything is drenched. Your body's starting to feel under the weather. That's sort of dealy.
If we're headed up to the Corbett farm, I say we leave sooner than later. Things don't seem to be improving. And we need to get to the bottom of this.
Is there any sweaters or anything that we could find in the general store?
Sure, you can roll a luck roll.
Nope. That's an 83 out of 75.
So no, there is you do find some clothes, but it's all pretty moth-eaten holes in it. Skeet didn't really seem like the individual who had really good quality clothes.
Right.
You do find a decent pair of overalls, but there's a little bit of a smell coming from them. BO.
I don't think anybody wants these. Do
Yummy.
you guys want them? Probably not. Okay, never mind.
No,
Moving
I'm
on.
cool with the coat.
So we're ready to do this?
Yep.
Nope.
Yep. Was it a no?
Well, I mean, are you ready to potentially deal with what we were dealing with last night? I mean, I'm going, but...
I think we're as ready for this as we're going to be, given our level of exhaustion and the weather outside and the general state of things.
Fair enough.
But I am just interested in getting my car back, finding out what happened to Barnabas, and getting back to the damn city. I'm starting to miss Boston. I never thought I would say that, but I'm starting to miss Boston.
Okay. Let's
Start moving.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so you leave the general store and walk outdoors, and of course, the moment you start maneuvering around toward the trail, where you can see the deep ruts from the Packard Twin 6 that mysteriously went missing, along with Skeet, heading off in the direction of the Corbett farm. Instead.
I have the flashlight on. Maybe.
So you do notice, as soon as you walk out and just start walking on the trail, that wherever you step, you're stepping in around 5 inches. You sink around 4 inches into mud as you sort of sloshing along up.
It's days like this that remind me I should probably have more than one pair of shoes.
It's days like this when I realize I should probably keep a closer eye on my car.
We're
Well, there's
gonna
that.
find your car. Seriously.
In one piece or another.
Oh,
Out of
God.
curiosity, where did you leave the keys?
I may have left them in the ignition because we were in the middle of nowhere and I didn't actually think that it would get taken. Because that's not something I worry about.
I don't feel like I need to say anything.
I don't think I need to either.
Yep.
I'm just curious if we find the car and it doesn't have the keys with it. Although I suppose we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna have to because it's either that still or walk back to
Somewhere
the city.
said multiple pieces, possibly.
You know what? Let's just not think about it. Let's just one step at a time.
Keep pledging along.
One step at a
Gotcha.
time. Oh
So
my
how
God,
f-
my car.
So how far have we gotten up this trail?
Okay, so basically you've just started.
Okay.
You walk, you're not even really sure how far away the Corbett farm is because you've never been there.
Right.
And I mean, it depends on if you're taking Skeet's word or if he really fully knows.
He said it, he implied that it was further away than the Montgomery farm where we went yesterday, and that took us an hour to get to.
It took you a couple hours.
Couple hours?
Few
Yeah.
hours.
Good
Yeah.
part of the day.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can see other than the ruts in the mud?
You know, there's some trees and stuff around, and the trail sort of winds a bit to the north. It's more of a trail than a road.
So is it so dark that like we can't see into
Oh
the
no,
brush?
it's dim out from the cloud cover, but there's still enough light to see.
Okay.
It's just everything is murky and gray.
So I don't actually need to have the flashlight
You-
on
you
anymore.
don't need to have it on.
It reaches a point of day where it's obviously day, just depressing day.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, I thought you meant earlier that you had it on you.
That too.
But you walk along for around an hour, and the rain it starts again. Not just drizzle; it starts raining down.
Oh, God.
One thing you do notice is, at this point, it starts to irritate your skin. Wherever the rain hits, your eyes start hurting.
I have
rain-
a raincoat.
Oh yeah, I know, but it just rain being around, it's just irritating.
Oh.
You're not entirely sure why, but it seems
I
acidic.
pop the collar, lower the brim of the hat.
Do I notice, like just glancing at the other people at the end? There's any redness to the skin or eyes from the rain?
A slight bit of redness, just a slight. No, nothing causing a negative condition or something like that, but just that it just seems.
Isn't rain normally supposed to be refreshing?
I don't know. This is pretty toxic. I've never had this reaction before. Has anybody had this reaction before? This is gross.
Depends on how close to a factory you live.
Is there any cover around?
There's some trees over, yeah, because basically the trail sort of winds through trees through a small forest. So you could go off the trail into the woods, and you'd probably get more cover that way.
Let's not do that.
If I see the thought process happening, I kind of look at you and I'm like,
Dang it.
You see the thought.
don't even think about it.
Ah, dang.
The thought process is quite noticeable.
Just like the engine of a car.
Okay.
So you continue along your way, and just as you're trying to scan around, and you're sort of all keeping your heads down, sort of involuntarily, because you're trying to avoid the rain getting in your eyes and burning it any more than it does. I do require everyone to make a spot hidden roll. My favorite roll.
Yeah.
That is an 83. I definitely fail that.
71 out of 33.
That's a 59 out of 47. So
Now, let's go to Althea and see if she is once again the only one who has made a spot hidden roll.
I don't know how happy Althea is about this, but I got a 7% out of 25, which is a pass.
You said 7% out of 25?
Yes.
So that's a hard pass.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So as you're walking along, you sort of glance up a little bit, and you notice what off the trail near the tree line, maybe around 60, 70 feet up, you see some kind of shape. You're not sure what it is, but it looks like an animal or something lying on the ground.
Duh.
An animal lying on the ground.
Yeah, it's around 50 or 60 feet away, and you can just notice this. Everyone else doesn't seem to notice it right away.
We're very distracted by the mud.
Does anybody else see that?
see what?
Soon,
I'll point. And I thought I saw something there. It looked like some kind of, maybe a large animal or something that's like lying on the ground.
and at
Over
this
in the bushes there.
and at this point, all the rest of you also notice this shape near the tree line up ahead.
Oh, we see it as well.
Gun
Then
is
once
up.
she points it out.
Gun is up, and the flashlight is pointed towards it.
As per some of the other times, we haven't been hearing any animal sounds, birds, anything like that.
No, you have not.
Just
Similar to when we went to the other house.
I'm also going to have my gun ready, at the ready. Can I make a listen check?
Sure. And the gun you're referring to, of course, is Skeet's shotgun.
Is Skeet's shotgun.
Oh, God.
That is a 43 out of 67.
You don't hear anything out of the ordinary at all. You don't really hear anything at all, as you guys have noticed before. No animal sounds, no stuff like that.
Okay.
So as we get closer, kind of move off the trail towards it.
So you're all moving towards the
Do
shape.
we want to do that?
How far off the trail does it look like?
Oh, it's
it
around
is?
50 or 60 feet up, maybe 10 feet.
I would stay on the trail as we approached, but I mean, I would keep my gun and light trained on it, but stay on the trail as we got closer.
Keep an eye out for us, please.
I
I
can't-
wanna get a closer look here.
Are you serious?
I'll go with her.
What do you have for
Are
a weapon?
you serious?
I have
We're
a
both-
we're
yeah.
both carrying machetes.
That's close. Really?
What are you expecting
okay?
here? Whatever it was that came that kidnapped Skeets was likely close combat. Whatever it was that came after us last night was again likely close combat. Amos is keeping an eye on both the trail and us. You, I'm assuming, are also keeping an eye on the surrounding area. You'll see anything long before we will, and I'm sorry, but I'm not a decent shot. I'd much prefer to have this. I'll hold up the machete.
Plus, I don't get to examine animals that are potentially dead very often.
I feel like no matter what
Why are
I
people
could say,
looking at me
it
like
just
that?
it's not enough logic to refute that. I don't agree with it, but well,
And
I
this-
guess. Well, I'm not going to stand here by myself. Are you going to stand? I guess.
oh, I'm
we're
staying on
all-
the trail. I'm not just stupid enough to go.
Keep
sniff
an eye
an
on us,
animal.
please.
Yeah, I will keep an
I-
eye.
We're not
Whatever
going to
this
go out of
is
sight.
could be a clue to.
If you stay on the trail, you are going to pass by.
Yeah, so I was like, let's just stay on the trail, get closer.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get when we come up kind of parallel with it. I want to.
Yeah.
When we get up sort of parallel with it, I want to just veer off and take a look, see what it is. I think it could be a clue as to what we might be dealing with here.
Well, let's see what we can see from the trail.
From the
Let's get
trail
close.
first.
Never mind the fact that we have not seen any animals. This might be the very first animal we've seen. I'm curious to know what it is when we haven't seen anything else here.
I point to the part of my head that once had weird blood on it that I brought attention to and was like, giant bird.
If there's some sort of gigantism affecting the birds, maybe it's affecting other things.
Well, let's see what we can see from
Oh
the
my
trail up
god,
ahead.
there could be a squirrel out there. Oh, we have to go and look.
Oh, yes, because the squirrels are in trouble. We gotta go save the squirrels.
If
Yeah,
it's
all
a
right.
giant squirrel, I mean,
Are
Let's-
you not an
let's-
investigator?
It's not that. It's okay. After all of the weirdnesses that has happened to us, and we've seen a fang that we assume it's a fang that's attached to your back right now.
A thing that might I remind all of us that the scientific individuals in the room have all discredited as not being practically possible. Keep going.
That's correct. We've encountered a raven that was massive, size of like
by
an albatross.
all
possibly.
library use, which I have extensive research in, is not possible. Continue.
Did you take a photograph of that?
Continue.
Like after everything we've encountered, what makes you think this thing is safe?
Which is why we should look at it from the trail.
Probably
And
the
then
fact
gauge from
that
there.
both of the things that we encountered on their own were safe. Althea still has the fang strapped to her back. It hasn't caused her any harm. The bird itself didn't cause you harm. It was whatever creature that killed it.
It's the thing that left the fang behind I'm more worried about than anything else.
This on the side of the road, so far as we can tell, is dead.
We're also not going to make any kind of scientific discoveries by staying on the road.
We're
Marion,
just saying, let's go.
Let's go.
Well, let's stay on the trail until we get close to it, and then evaluate from there.
I'm assuming we've been walking this whole time. Are we?
Well, no,
are we?
since you guys are arguing, I just assumed you had stopped to discuss your best course of action.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like
Otherwise,
to stay
you'd
on the
already
trail
be on it
and
while
get-
you're arguing.
Can I roll a spot hidden to see if I can see anything more from this thing?
Well, so you're still around 50 feet away.
Oh, okay.
So
Can
let's
we
walk
move
up till we're
close
like
enough.
parallel
Okay,
with
so
it.
at around 30 feet, I would like everyone to. You can choose your skill, either a natural world skill or a zoology skill check.
That'll be natural.
One or the
for
other.
me.
Well, all right. Natural world it is.
Yeah.
A 62 out of 10 is not a
A
pass.
46 out of 10 is not a pass.
A 91 out of 10 is definitely not a pass.
Lee.
And a 50 out of 20 is definitely not a pass.
Okay. So it looks like to be the shape, at 30 feet, it looks to be the shape of some animal. You're not entirely sure what it is at this distance.
Is it still moving?
No. No, it seems to be slumped down on the ground.
You said it's 10 feet away from us if we're standing on the trail looking at it?
Yeah, so you're around 30 feet on the trail, you're 30 feet from it, and then when you get up to it, it's 10 feet in toward the tree line.
Let's get closer.
Screw it. I will take a stick. I will step in, and I will...
You're still 30 feet away.
Yeah,
30
we have to
feet away from
continue
the
on
edge.
the
Yeah,
trail.
this was the, yeah. So,
Oh, well, let's get closer
Let's
to it. But
You got-
staying on the trail.
Yes.
so as you walk up the trail and till you're 10 feet away, it's off the trail by 10 feet. You do notice quite clearly that it is a deer. It looks like it has, it's just lying down on the ground, really flat to the ground. And it looks to have some black liquid pooling out of its eyes and its mouth.
Is this normal?
This is from 10 feet
Is this
away.
the color that deer blood generally is? I've been to butcher shops. This doesn't seem natural.
That doesn't
No.
look like anything I've seen.
No, I mean, a deer would still have normal looking blood, unless, of course, it had some kind of disease.
At this point, I would like Althea to make an idea roll.
I was just going to chime in and be like, does this not look familiar to the eagle blood on my face?
Maybe a little bit. I have 5% out of 70, which is an extreme
Damn.
pass.
Yes. Althea, because you were the one who inspected the blood from before that you thought for some reason had moved,
Yes.
right? But it looks to be that same type. The blood of the deer is black as well. It seems to be familiar to you in
I
that
pick
respect.
up a small stick and I kind of poke it in the blood. Is it?
Are you going to walk?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk a little closer.
Okay, so as you walk close enough to poke it with a stick, I need you to roll a spot hidden roll.
You okay?
The gun and the flashlight are up.
That is a 15 out of 25. Pass.
You might as well put a tick next to that spot hidden roll.
Oh no.
As you get close to poke at it, you notice that there's something moving under the hide of the deer. That the hide is moving. Like there's
Oh.
something underneath it moving around.
Like under the skin?
Yeah.
Guys, it's moving. I think it's still alive.
Moving?
Well, there's something moving.
How much blood do we see out of this thing?
Oh, a fair amount. It looks quite dead.
I don't
Oh, perhaps it's just maggots or something. There are a million different creatures that consume dead.
That's very
makes more sense
interesting.
to
I
me.
don't want to be near this thing anymore. It's dead.
I'm
What else
interested
can we do?
Because I'm interested. Althia is a very
Well, at this point,
science-based person.
is there much benefit to determining what killed it?
Other than personal curiosity?
I think personal curiosity will have to lose in favor of rescuing Skeets, assuming he's still alive.
We can always come back for the deer carcass after we get the car.
Carry on?
Well,
Marion, at this point you notice that the deer is quite still. There is no movement underneath.
Yes. It's disappointing, but even if it was still alive, I don't think there's anything we can do.
all right. Well, maybe we could just stop on the way back. I mean, and just see. Like, I mean, depending how long we're gone, this process may have continued on a bit further, and I could get some information just by observing or to like. Okay, we can go, and I'll just forget about it. It's all good. Let's go.
Don't worry. We'll stop on the way back. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
It's disappointing though.
yeah.
You know,
So
creature
continuing.
like this is just left here. But yes, continue on.
Let's continue on.
Back to the trail.
Up back to the trail.
Why are you rolling something?
Oh no.
No, don't point at me. Amos was the sensible one here. With this one.
So, shortly after you noticed that there was no movement underneath the
It
deer
died.
anymore, I'd like everyone to make a hard spot hidden check to notice something.
Me too?
You as well,
Oh,
Amos.
God.
80.
So hard
Yeah,
as
this is
half.
hard as... Yeah, okay. So... I actually rolled a 13 and a 16.
Ooh. 18 out of 12. Close, but no.
95 out of 25 is a definite fail.
Yeah.
That's almost a crit
82 out of
fail.
23.
So, Amos, did you just say you passed that check?
I did.
Oh,
Do
put it-
I regret this?
No, it's actually a really good check for you to make. You can put a little tick mark next to spot hidden.
I have ticked it.
As you notice what appears to be something moving quite quickly towards you through the grass on the side, it looks to be around 8 to 9 inches long, and it looks to be like a slug-like thing, and it's all white, and it seems to be oozing a black liquid from it, and it seems to be just
I shoot
scurrying.
first and ask questions later. Okay.
Yes, you did state your pistol was out and ready to go.
Yup.
So
Because I am not a fan of this situation.
now, of course, nobody else notices this. They'll notice when they hear Amos's gunshot go off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go.
That'll
I'm
be
just
hard.
gonna point fire and then start saying stuff.
Go right ahead.
That'll
Alright.
be hard to miss.
22 and a 60.
You
80.
can, you can put a tick next to your
Woo!
pistol skill there,
Yay, guts.
and I need you to roll for damage.
Oh, right.
And I believe I gave you the damage for your weapon.
Yes, D10 plus 2. Fantastic. All right, so I have dealt whatever it is 5 points of damage. So 3 plus
As
2.
it pretty much explodes.
Oh, nice.
It's you shot it dead on.
yeah!
So it
there's-
explodes into and by I mean explodes, I don't mean just dies. When you shoot it, it explodes. And some black, just black liquid shoots out and stuff like that.
Some
Nothing
viscera.
that's really getting on anybody or anything like that. You noticed it quick enough before it got close enough, but it was definitely coming for you, Amos. It seemed like it was really moving towards you. Quite quick.
Does it seem like it was coming from the direction of the deer?
Yes.
So
was that?
You
when I
do
fire
actually
at
know.
it-
You actually do notice it come from the bottom of the deer and start shooting out towards you.
After I shoot it, and we stay there for like a solid second, I look around. Anyone else have any other bright ideas about looking at dead animal carcasses on the way to this haunted house?
What the hell was that?
I want to get back on the trail.
I would like to not leave the trail for anything else unless we see a car.
But what happened?
Let's talk as we're walking.
Yeah, let's do that thing.
Shit, last time we investigated a body, I almost got slugged. So let's not investigate the body I just shot and move on until we see a truck.
It was
or
a
car.
slug?
It was gross, squirmy, came from the dead deer. Let's keep going, please.
Ew.
Let's make our way back to the trail.
Well, you're only 10 feet off the trail,
okay.
a bit less than that. So you just move back to the trail.
Okay.
Slug.
Progress.
I'll have to remember to look into that. Do slugs eat carrion like that?
I just assumed slugs ate anything they could get their slug on.
Well, also
Yeah, but they don't
oozing
have
the black
anything to
goo sort of stuff that we've been
deteriorate
seeing around.
flesh.
So I'm sure once we find answers about the black goo stuff, you might figure out a little bit more about the slugs. But for now,
Perhaps. Maybe it's a new species. I have to remember to write this down.
Well,
Kind of
once again-
heard her off so that she doesn't get distracted, and then we keep walking as we're talking.
But as it's brought up, if anyone would like to make a natural world or zoology check again, by all means.
Definitely would.
that's a 61 out of 10. No.
That's a 42 out of 10.
That's a 67 out of 10.
That's a 78 out of 20.
Yes. I don't know. Some kind of slug.
It was
Slugs are
white. It
bad.
was gross.
Slugs
it
are
was big.
gross.
It came from a carcass and oozed black gunk. That's about all I know.
Goodness,
Done.
so frightening.
And it exploded when I shot it. As you do.
As you continue along your way, it seems that you drag Althia away and start continuing on toward the Corbett's. The Corbett Farmstead.
But science.
Just outside of Swill's Gullet.
But your car.
But my car. Okay, let's go.
Yes.
Let's
we
go.
do have
Yeah.
your best interest in mind, believe it or
If I
not.
get my car, I can go back to Boston. I can do proper research there. Let's go. Let's go, people.
Yes, there we go. Incentive.
You travel for another couple of hours. Seems like it's quite the distance away as you're just following along this trail. You don't see any other animal carcasses or stuff like that. Althea, you do seem, as you're walking, to remember that when you were driving into town, that you almost hit a deer then as well. Mm-hmm. And that would be the only other time you've seen an animal other than the bird.
It
just comes into your mind.
Deer.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
Well, I mean, it's still seeing deer would be more normal than
Yeah, it's in a country.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
you definitely see them.
maybe you just expect to see more of them.
So as the rain picks up and lets off and picks up and lets off, it seems...
Really wish Mother Nature would make up her mind.
How you doing? You both don't look very good.
I'll be fine.
Althea, you doing okay?
I'm tired. I'm just, trying to focus on things that I can do when I get back to my lab and we finally figure this out.
You've got a very hyperactive brain.
Well,
very fascinating.
I spend a lot of time alone, so I have to keep myself entertained. And,
Has its pros and cons.
it's fairly easy for one to keep themselves entertained when I suppose income is not necessarily a problem.
I was just about to say. Yep. Keep going with that sentence. That's all right. That's fair.
How much time has passed?
I would say that you've been on the trail for around 3 hours. It's been around
Oh, man.
around an hour and a half, 2 hours since you saw the deer.
And how long do we have until we get to the Corbett?
You have no idea.
Okay.
You don't know
there's
how far away it is.
Has anything about the trail changed? Same kind of forest, same
Same
kind of...
bland,
Same car
wet,
tracks.
gray landscape.
All right.
Yeah.
And
No.
there's nothing in the mud that we're trudging through.
No, not that it, you notice. It looks like regular mud. There isn't a reddish hue to it.
Do we still
Okay.
see the car tracks?
Yes. Where it was raining so much that the ruts
Are still there?
are still there.
And there's no indication the car ever stopped or pulled over or slowed down.
None whatsoever. Well,
Or if anything was like thrown out of it or...
you're not entirely sure about it slowing down or not. You can make a tracks skill roll
Yeah, sure.
to see if you can judge that.
I guess I'd probably be looking for that too.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I would
Anyone
say
can make
that
that roll.
makes
It's
sense. All right.
fine.
I failed. It's a 28 out of 10.
87 out of 10. Nope.
94 out of 10.
My character wouldn't have thought to look for that.
Fair enough. Yes. Basically, any chance you have to make a skill roll that's plausible, good call, Marion, you may as well do it. You never know when you might succeed.
I mean, I posed the question, but I completely forgot there was even a track roll. I would have just offered that.
Yeah, a track's useful for, tailing or tracking somebody, but also for little things like that.
Why did they put skills in tracking? That seems kind of weird. Anyway, that's just a me thing.
It'll come up.
Crap.
Yep.
So the trail seems to go up a little bit on a hill. And as you crest the hill, up ahead you can see what looks to be, seems like down in a little valley from the hill, a farmstead, a house. Looks like the roof is caved in. Looks to be a single-story type of bungalow, if you will. It's very common layout for a farmhouse. And you do notice a Packard Twin 6 parked off to the side near what looks to be a well.
Alas, ye lassies.
In the property. The doors are open.
Haunted house ahoy.
And you're looking off from quite a distance, but you just notice that.
You said the doors are open on the house or the car?
The car.
Car, all of them.
The
All of
doors
them.
left
Including
open
the
in this
trunk?
weather?
Yeah.
Oh, my upholstery.
Although the trunk is not open.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's head to the car.
So when Ski was talking about this, did he say there was like just lights, or was it like it looked like a fire was here when he was describing what had
He said something
happened
about
after
smoke.
Barnabas and his companions went up?
Yeah, he said, as far as you recall, that there was smoke, maybe the light from a fire.
Is there evidence of it?
Well, you're still a fair distance away.
I'll
Yeah,
approach
okay,
the car, because we'll run into the car.
From like I
before we
said,
get
you
back,
are a
Yeah.
fair
right?
distance away, so you start walking down the trail
but we'll
towards
run
the
into
house.
the car before we run into the house.
Now, should
As
we
we
be
get-
worried about
No,
people?
it's right next to the house. There's a well off to the side of the house, and the car seems to be near that. And
Okay.
surrounding it all are trees.
Okay.
Gun out, lights, flashlight up.
I also still have my Skeet's gun out.
Shotgun.
Skeet's shotgun. Should we not be worried about the people who have stolen the car?
Can I roll
That's
a
why my
listen
gun's
check
up.
as we get closer to see if I hear any sounds coming from either the house or the area of people around?
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
I would say the people who took my car should be the ones who are worried.
What if they took some
58 out
equipment
of
from your car?
33. Nope.
Can I make can't believe I'm going to ask this, a spot hidden check to see if there's anything that is inconspicuous or could jump out at me on my way to the car? I'm not even thinking about the house right now.
Sure. Just roll
Yeah.
a spot hidden.
Yeah, it's 11 out of 33.
Okay.
So
Does anyone else like
I would also like to roll a spot hidden. I'm going to be looking more at the house and at the ground in front of it to see if there are... So at the house to see if there's any like movement in the windows or anything coming from the house. And as we get closer, if there are tracks between the car and the house.
Okay, you can roll.
You can go first.
I was just gonna say I'll roll a spot hidden to see if I can notice if the car has obvious damage to it or any reason that it wouldn't be running.
Okay.
I will also make a spot hidden, but I want to do it along the tree line around the property.
Sure.
why are we all doing this?
Yeah, you are still a fair distance away, so I'm just going to take all these skill checks into account as you're walking toward further.
No, that's
Okay,
an
cool.
83 out of 47. So no.
Yeah, I have 71 out of 25, so that's also a fail.
Thanks for
11 out
nothing,
of
guys.
25.
Okay, so Marion, you were going to be looking at the house
Yep.
in particular, and Amos, you
Anything
also...
that could jump out at me on my way to the car.
And so both of you succeeded on those rolls. So as you start walking toward Marion, you notice, as you're around maybe 50, 60 feet away from the house, you do notice that the roof seems to be mostly caved in, and you notice black charring around the roof of the farmstead. And you can notice black charring up along the sides of it, as if this place maybe at one point had some flame.
How, like, can I tell, is it old charring? Like, it looks like it's been weathered, or it's relatively recent?
Relatively recent.
Okay.
And Amos, as you basically you're walking toward the car, which is just maybe 30 feet off from the side of the house, and sort of pulled up by the well with the doors open. You don't notice any movement or anything else really out of the ordinary.
Well,
Right.
I think we know. I think we found out about the smoke and light that Skeets was talking about. Definitely something terrible happened in this house.
And once I reach the car, I'm gonna start searching it from like from back to front. Trunk first, back seat, front 2 seats, hood.
I'll help him as well, since I'd be familiar if there seemed to be anything missing that would normally, say, be in the trunk or in the car itself.
Are we all by the car, or are you?
Yeah.
You're up by the car as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's be clear, the car is only around 30 feet away from the
Yeah.
house.
Okay, so we're all up
Yeah.
the car.
It's sort of like in the yard.
All right.
Because like cars are priority, so that's the first thing I'm checking.
Okay.
So one of the first things, don't even require a roll for this, as you approach the car, you notice that the upholstery inside looks to be fairly torn up, and there seems to be whatever the seats were stuffed with seems to be pulled out. Looks like it's ragged, like it was cut up, ripped up in different sections.
What in the world happened to the inside of my car?
It's all right when money's not a problem. It shouldn't be a big deal.
Who
Are
does
they-
this? This looks like it was destroyed by a wild animal.
Are they clean cuts or are they rips?
Rips. Like something pierced it and then ripped it out.
Is it definitive? Is it like claw marks, or is it more like a weapon?
Maybe a forensics roll could make use of that.
Oh, Althea will definitely roll forensics on her car.
Yeah.
She hasn't succeeded at one of these rolls yet, but she'll definitely try. Ooh, I got a 7 out of 21%, which is a pass.
Put a tick next to forensics.
Nice.
Wow.
And I'll just get back to you in a second, Althea. As Amos, you were going to check the trunk.
Yeah, I'm start with the trunk. Work
Yeah.
my way forward.
So as you pop the trunk, just open it up.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys had stored there is still there.
Oh.
Oh,
Huh.
sweet.
Yeah, there not,
That's
doesn't seem to be anything
odd.
missing from the trunk.
Anything added? Blood?
No, looks like the same as when you left it.
I immediately want to try and find my Lee Enfield Mark III.
Oh, sure, not a problem. You don't need to roll a check at all. As you reach in, you haul out the case, you open it up, and there's your rifle.
I'm taking it and all the ammunition I can find and
Wow.
stashing away stupid Skeet's weapon.
So
That is
Skeet's shotgun
lucky.
is going back into the trunk?
Does anybody want to take the shotgun?
I'm no kind of shot. I don't think that would be useful for me.
Not really a shot either.
As we go back to Althea for a
I'm
second.
not bad, but I don't like that. No.
And so we'll just go back to Althea for your skill check there, where you're checking on the back seat. It looks like, you wouldn't necessarily say that an animal clawed it, but it looks like something pierced into it and was maybe barbed somewhat. And when it was pulled out, it sort of shredded it. But it clearly, it could be mistaken to a layman as like a claw mark, but it's more, seems like some kind of tool was pushed in, is what it seems like.
So,
I need you to roll an idea roll at this moment, Althea.
okay.
So many ideas.
So, I know there's a lot of skill checks, but you're starting to figure stuff out.
I'm an
What?
idea-heavy individual.
What would I roll to
Sounds
look around to
provoking.
see if there are like footprints or tracks
Track.
around? Track? Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 2% out of 70.
Damn.
Wow, an extreme success.
Nice.
As now, as you're looking at it and you're trying to think about what type of thing could have did this, you're sort of looking over your shoulder. You can see the point of the big snake fang strapped to your back. It's like, man, and the way it's just a little bit barbed at the tip. That, yes, something like that could have really, or multiple of them, could shred that back seat.
What in the...
And
Hey,
you-
what you looking at?
I just... So... okay, this is going to sound strange, but I feel like maybe people think a lot of things that I say are strange.
And
so
I'm going to stop Althea there. She has to make a sanity roll as she figures this out. And this may change how she explains this information to the rest of the
sanity
party.
rolls
Love
haven't
it.
been going well
Love
for me
it.
so far.
Love it.
Woohoo. That's a 12 out of 77.
Damn.
You don't really find this shocking at all. Yeah, you're completely level-headed. Basically, by making a sanity check, it means that you explain this to yourself in a way where it doesn't seem crazy. Now continue.
So,
You justify it.
this may sound strange, but
I got a giant eagle head thrown at me. Trust me, I'm starting to lower my definition
Raven.
of crazy.
It was Raven.
It was a giant bird head with black feathers. My level of crazy is slowly deteriorating.
Let her speak.
Continue.
right. So, this, I don't think it was claw marks, but I don't quite think it was a tool either. Now, looking at this large fang-type object that I have strapped to my back, do you notice how it's barbed at the tip? I think that something similar to this, maybe the same sort of object, or multiple of these objects, were punctured into the upholstery and then pulled out of it. I'm not sure why, as I don't hide anything in my upholstery that someone would need to look for, but that may become more evident once we find the person who did
Well,
this.
does it seem like it was intentional or accidental?
It's so damaged you can't really discern whether it was intentional.
I'm-
Seems pretty chaotic.
I'm mostly just kind of throwing the question out there. I mean, the last night, or I guess earlier this morning, when we had that scare back at the general store, one of the things we noticed down one of the alleyways was looked like something was walking around that had one of these sticking out of its back.
Oh
Possibility.
yes, but I mean,
I didn't think anything of it.
given perhaps the light or anything, it could have been someone doing the same as me and just carrying this on their back.
Well, and let's be clear too, Althea was the only one who noticed anything in that alleyway.
Oh, my
Yes,
mistake.
she's the only
Well,
one who made the spot hidden.
I saw it,
apologies.
but I was like
I wouldn't have
yelling
known
about
that.
it and stuff. Yeah.
That's why.
So, well, I'm not sure about the intention part, but I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like it was done by, like I said, a wild animal. It looks like it was destroyed by a wild animal. Most people do things with intention, so I'd imagine that's probably the case here. However, like I said, that would become more clear once we find the individual who ruined the upholstery in my car.
Does the car still start?
So, Agatha, you move up to the driver's seat. Keys are still in it.
Can I try to turn the car on
Sure.
just to see if it works?
And you don't need to roll anything
Oh.
to turn a key. You turn on the car, and it starts.
Oh, how
Hallelujah! I smacked the hood.
much noise is this making right now? Like, how much noise would come from the engine of a Packard?
Yeah, it's a bit of noise. It's not super loud, but it's...
It'd be echoing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sound of a car being turned on. Yeah.
Should we? While I am absolutely thrilled about the fact that my car is still working, perhaps we should turn it off. If there's anybody here, I mean, if they hear this, they're gonna know that
Not a bad idea.
that we've arrived, or somebody.
Has anyone seen any indication that anyone is here?
Well, there's got to be someone. Someone drove the car.
Well, we did agree that we would reevaluate our situation once we ran into the car. So the options now stand as thus. Are we going to take the car, we're going to head back to Boston, or are we going to take a look at the house and see if we could find the poor buggers that took the car and possibly
I'm gonna turn off
injured,
the
or
car
at
just to
worst,
conserve gas.
Sure.
When
To,
Agatha
Skeet.
turned the car on, I was still looking at the house because that's generally where I've been looking this whole time.
Sure.
Would you like me to roll a spot hidden? Did I see anything? By the way, I failed the track roll from earlier. I got a 26 out of 10.
You wouldn't need to make a roll. You don't
Same,
really
nothing.
notice anything
Okay.
happen once the vehicle turned on. But once Agatha turns the vehicle off, as you've been scanning around, Marion, you get this unsettling feeling that you're being watched. You know that feeling you get?
Yeah.
You get that feeling as you're like scanning around, paying more attention to the overall surroundings. You do notice that.
Has anyone seen or noticed any? Just where someone drove this vehicle here, and presumably took Skeets with them.
No,
But where are
absolutely.
they?
Well, that's the thing. Do we want to know the answer to that question? Do we want to do that now, or do we want to
Do you
get
want
out
to
of here
scan?
with a working vehicle? It's
do
up to you
scan
guys.
the area? I mean, it's just a quick looking
As long as
around.
you do it as a group.
Well, I mean, Skeet aside, and whoever drove the car here aside. I assume we do owe it to Barnabas to find out what happened to him.
Also agreed.
Althea, was there any blood in the vehicle when you checked the upholstery?
Was there any blood in the vehicle?
You did notice that there was a few black spots. And you did notice just off of the driver's seat, there's some red specks. That could be blood. Red specks. But there's other spots are black. But not a lot. There's not a lot in the vehicle, it seems.
Looks like a few spots. Maybe a little bit of blood there by the driver's seat. Everything else here is not the correct color.
So then,
If they did take Skeets here,
we-
he wasn't bleeding as profusely as we thought he was at the store.
I don't know. There was a lot of blood at the store that led to the car, and there's nothing in the trunk, nothing in the back, very little in the front.
What side, like the driver's side, that's where the blood is, right?
Yes.
Is that facing towards the house or is that facing towards the well?
Well, so you have the house that's like 30 feet off to the left of the car.
Okay.
And the well is around 10 feet off to the left of the car. So the well is sort of between the house and the car.
Oh, so it's
okay.
facing the same. Okay. All right.
Yep. No.
Darn. I thought that was going to make a
Alright.
definite figure. Okay.
I'm going to do something stupid.
Go inside the house?
No, I'm going to look in the well.
Oh, I was going to do that too, but okay, go for
Want to
it.
hold the flashlight?
I will hold the flashlight for you.
All right.
We're going to
All
look
right.
in the well.
I'm going to slowly, with both hands, train my handgun on the well, and I'm going to ever so gingerly and cautiously approach the well and look on down. Yeah, I see. All right. Yeah, so with her training the flashlight, I'm going to go up to the well.
First thing you notice as you get up to the well is a smell. Similar to... Smells a little bit like gas
Oh.
as you get close to the well.
Oh.
And as you shine a light down the well, you notice that you don't see the bottom of the well at all. You can see that there was an overhang over the well, and there's a rope going into the well, which you assume the bucket would be, and that's in the well. So you can see the rope go down, but the light, you can't see the bottom of the well.
So there's no
But
water.
there's a smell of like gas, a gassy
All
smell.
right, vote. Do I pull out the bucket, or do I start by throwing a match in?
I don't think a match is a good idea.
Although that might explain what burned the house. If there's a pocket of gas on
What?
this area,
Isn't that what Skeet said happened to the church?
yeah, gas from the mine, perhaps.
But why
so
would
I
a
won't
well?
light a cigarette.
That would probably be
I
preferable.
would prefer
It's like
that, sir.
evidence of doing this.
Maybe
I'll
not.
put that away.
While they're doing that, because I didn't say that I was leaving the car, I'll probably, once I'm done looking at the backseat, get out, and while they're inspecting the well, maybe kind of look around to see if there's any blood or anything else on the ground around the car or leading away from the car or any evidence of it, anything like that. Or someone already looked for tracks from
Yeah,
the car
but
and stuff.
spot hidden, because you're specifically not looking for tracks. You're just looking for anything of the ordinary.
While
on the
she's
ground.
rolling that, is there anything I can roll to start bringing up the rope for the well?
Oh, there would be no skill check as you start pulling. It just starts coming up.
It's a 57 and 25, so that's a fail.
Okay. Well, even with a fail, you do notice that clearly because of the muddy ground off from the side, from the passenger side of the car, it looks like some footprints and stuff heading toward the trees. But that's all you notice. So you do notice that with a fail off to the side, but that's it. There's no other extra information. And you start pulling up the rope, and it's a creak, this squeaky noise
Yeah.
just goes creak, creak. Starts squeaking up as you pull it up, and there's no water in the bucket, and it's just an old wooden bucket at all. The bucket's not even wet. And as you pull it up, you notice the rope, maybe 35-foot long rope, and it was all the way down in there, and it doesn't come up wet.
how much is the full length of the rope?
Oh, that's the full length of the rope.
So it was fully extended.
Yeah, it
when
was
I
fully
started
extended
pulling.
down from the top. Yeah.
Damn, and it didn't feel like it was at the bottom of the well when it was there. Like I didn't feel any slack when I started pulling it up. Like it felt taut, like it was hanging fully.
Yeah, it was hanging fully. Yeah.
So 35 feet. It's not in water, and it's not the bottom of the well. So this is deeper than 35 feet minimum.
No one else has noticed or felt or heard anything. I don't know. I just can't shake this feeling that we're not the only ones here.
Well,
No one else has heard anything?
I tie off the rope and go back to my gun again.
there are these
I
tracks
haven't
here.
really.
from the
Tracks?
car.
Where?
And they lead off into the woods there.
Is there anything particular about the tracks?
No. With the failed track roll and the failed spot hidden, you basically just notice that I should have put it that the ground is disturbed leading toward the tree line. That's the easiest way to put it. Yeah.
Isn't there a mine near here? Or what we've been told that there's a mine near here?
There's a mine around town, yeah, but we walked up a hill along the path to get here, right? To my understanding, we're on top of it right now, I think.
Well, we
You said
probably
they looped around the city, right? Around town?
Well, I mean, even if they only mined a small section for the town,
Yeah.
mines can often be kilometers or of underground tunnels or passages. It probably goes on for long distances.
I think we might be on top of a part of it. Was something funny? Did I miss something?
Okay.
I'm an American, so it should be miles.
That was the only thing.
Yep.
Miles and miles.
I should have caught that.
Yeah.
Even if
What's a kilometer?
even if you were still Canadian, that's not till the 60s.
That's true. It goes on for long distances.
There you go.
It's fine. I'm sure we'll be able to progress properly with the game. Yeah. These
We'll get
little
over
things will happen. These little things will happen. So yeah, you do notice that there's some disturbance on the ground heading toward the tree line from the Packard Twin 6.
We should at least take a look.
It's the most likely scenario. I don't think they'd be holding up in that house.
Take a look at what?
Well, I mean, there could be. I mean, the structure of the house is still intact. There could be a cellar. There often is in homes
Okay,
like
so
these.
we're talking about looking into the house, right? Not into the woods?
We could start with the house first.
I would say we should start with the house and possibly end with the car leaving town. Last time we went to the woods, I shot a giant slug.
We didn't go
That's
into
very
the
true.
woods. We were all practically
literally
still on the
took
we
two
were
steps off
practically
the
still on the
beaten
track.
path and I
I'm
shot
just
a slug.
suggesting we go closer to the trees while it's still relatively daylight.
We could at least see if the trees or brush there looks like it's been disturbed as well. as the
Relatively
ground.
daylight.
So are you going to go over to the trees then?
I'll go over
Okay,
with Marion, and we'll just not go into the trees, but see if it looks like there's been some disturbance.
As I see them walking to the trees, I literally just start gesturing between the trees and the house. I'm like, I thought house, at least house first. I thought we were in agreement with that. I'm okay with the house. You going to the trees? They're going to the trees. They're going to the trees.
I'm
We're not
with
going
you to the
into
house.
the trees. We're going to just look, see if anything.
Of the four of us, I was the one that went least into the trees and shot a slug.
Well, shoot a slug from a distance. Come on, Marion.
I'm going with you to the house.
I'm going to go closer to the trees so I can shoot the inevitable slug they're going to piss off.
So just let me get this clear. Agatha's heading toward the house.
I want to see the house.
Agatha's
Going
heading
by
toward...
yourself? I will go with you to the house.
Agatha and Amos are going toward the house,
Ah,
while
God.
Marion and Althea are heading
got
toward the
machetes.
tree
We're
line.
splitting the...
And
Why?
the party has been successfully split
I'll
once
step on
again.
the slug.
This is the worst idea.
You can step
This
on
is
slugs.
the worst idea.
Listen,
I'm sure the deer stepped on the slug and he had a great day.
And it's
Yes,
even better because we're
Much
the ones
smaller
who actually
feet than
have
we do.
firearms and they've
That's
got
why I'm
machetes.
like, why are you going to the house?
Yeah.
I think you should come with us.
It's
But
okay.
they don't have firearms.
I'm
We
just
should probably
going
go the
to
woods.
roll randomly to see which minor party I'm going to
Oh no.
work into first.
work into. Like the nice choice of words. We're all gonna die.
yeah.
We're all gonna die.
He's gonna work us over.
Okay, so Marion
Ah.
and Althea,
Yeah.
you
God.
you follow the disturb footprints on the ground.
The disturbed is pretty accurate. Yeah.
Toward the tree line, around 35, 40 feet
Okay.
from the car to the right.
Is it going towards a trail of any kind or just thick
As
brush?
you get closer to the tree line,
Okay.
you do notice that what appears to be a small little trail. You're not sure if it's very well used at all or anything, but just an area that's a little bit more disturbed with some branches broke.
Oh, look, a slug path.
Looks to be some scoring along some of the trees close to there as you walk up to
A
the tree
flaming
line.
slug path.
That's not what scoring means.
What kind of check would I have to make to be able to try and take a closer look at the trees on the edge there to see what kind of thing might have made markings along them or something?
From your previous checks, I'm just going to say you just take a look at it, and it looks like something pointy and sharp was dragged across some of the trees, and it's created these deep scored marks in the trees itself. And with your previous checks, something maybe akin to what's strapped to your back.
You know, Marion,
Yes?
the more we look into this, the more intrigued I am by it. But at the same time, I feel like I shouldn't be. That being said, I sometimes feel that way about most autopsies that I do, but I still keep going.
So are you saying that you don't think we should investigate? As in it could be dangerous? Or that something doesn't want to? Like, what would be stopping you?
But there's nothing really stopping me. I mean, probably will be dangerous, but what's the other option? Staying at home?
Well, right now the other option is looking into the house, but I don't know, given the damage on the building, I really don't think we'll find anything in there.
No, perhaps
Although,
we won't.
Okay. At this point, as you guys are talking at the tree line, I need you both to make listen checks, but at hard difficulty because you're both talking to each other at the tree line.
92.
Oh, I also failed with a 77 out of 20.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, as much as I would like to continue on this path and see where it goes, 'cause I think this is our best option, I don't think we should go alone.
No, I'd have to agree. At the very least, Amos might come back and shoot us. We should probably go to the house and join the others.
As you turn and start heading toward, as you turn to begin heading toward the house, a figure steps out from behind one of the trees.
Boy, sure would be good if you had the gun there right now, wouldn't it?
I got my fist.
Start using your machetes.
Do we see it?
And seems to
yeah, we do.
swing a meaty fist at Althia.
Thank you for listening to this Twisted Gear Studios production. The studio will be taking a break over the holidays, and as such, our next episode of The Call will air Tuesday, January 15th. Tuesday, January 8th is the next episode of Spacers, our Starfinder actual playcast, and this Friday, December 21st, is the next episode of our collaboration podcast with MacGuffin Media, The Legend of Zingdong. The game system used today was the Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition by Chaosium. Music and sound effects and ambient tracks licensed through Video Copilot, Triune Films, and Sirenscape. You can find all Twisted Gear Studios podcasts on YouTube, Google Play, Apple Music, and Spotify. Please follow and like Twisted Gear Studios on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Twisted Gear. Your players this evening were Janessa Coles, Lindsay Delansky, Zach Barrett, and Elizabeth Wells. Your audio operator tonight was Rob Hickey, and your GM, or keeper, this evening was Derek Snow. If you happen to be in the Fort McMurray area, you can find me at Tavern on Main every Monday at 7:30 p.m. for trivia. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.